Hey, I'm Rora,
I'm Jane,
and we are Birds of Clay.
and we're here to talk all things Australian pottery and ceramic art.
So put your kettle on.
And let's have a chat. We would like to pay our respects to the traditional custodians on the lands on which this podcast is recorded. We acknowledge the rich history of art, craft, and storytelling that has been occurring for millennia, and acknowledge elders past, present, and country as provider, protector, and guide. Working with clay is intrinsically linked to country, and we would not be here without the care and connection that our First Nations peoples have shown for thousands of years on this continent we call Australia. Okay, it's going.
Hey, Jane.
Hey, Rora.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
First potty recording of the year.
2024. It's
And,
the future.
It is the future. And only our second episode.
It is true.
We're still fresh.
I know.
Warm out of the oven. Or are we in the oven? I don't know. Weird.
I love it. Great start. So I think this podcast we're going to kick off with looking at what's in the works for each of us for 2024.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Okay. Well, fresh year, no uni for me, which
no uni.
is new.
Yeah.
A new liberating experience. I think coming into this year and making goals, I've felt a lot freer.
That's
and
good.
I've already just, feeling the effects of not having that extra layer of, stress over everything. Blanketing everything, just that task that I know I have to complete every week is not there.
So you've got more space.
Yeah, totally more space. I'm feeling a lot more present. Like,
good.
Every time I'm making or doing anything really, my mind isn't somewhere else. So I've really enjoyed that. That's been really refreshing. But yeah, this year, I think obviously markets.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to take a step away a little bit from making conceptual work and focus a little more on production, because I don't know if you know this, Jane, which you do, but I just made, how many was it? It was 38 and 38. What's that? 79?
Something like, 76.
76.
A lot.
Oh, 30, no, it was 78 because I did 39. Bowls for a workshop that our uni is held at our uni every year, and it's my 4th year making those bowls, and kind of my only taste of production that I generally have. But yeah, going into this year, I want to do a bit more of that and sell multiples and sets and stuff like that. So I'm kind of in a bit of a design phase right now and just figuring out how I'm going to approach that. For the first time, which is exciting.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of strange making everything matching because I tend to have a really low attention span usually and move on really quickly from designs. So I'm just going to see how that goes.
That's great. It's a really good challenge.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
I think so. That's what I like about it too, is the challenge of reproducing multiples. Because it's hard to make things the same, and I'm enjoying that. So
yeah, great.
Yeah. What have you got going on?
Well, I'm still at uni.
Yeah.
But
when does that go back?
That goes back mid-February.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only got 5 subjects to go, which is good, and 3 of those are practical. So I'm doing advanced studio in semester 1 and semester 2, and in semester 2 I also have like a project, self-directed project.
So what's project?
Projects, it's basically like a mini research project, bit like a honours project or something, where you have basically a supervisor. You have to write a short paper. You know, you've done it. Hey,
Yeah.
a short paper and outline what you're going to do, and then basically you've got to do it. So it could be like a body of work for an exhibition. It could be like a dinnerware range.
Yeah.
It could be
A research.
it could be a placement in an
Okay.
organisation. It could be running a workshop. It's basically you and your supervisor come up with it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, I don't know, I mean, it's second semester, so it's a little while off, but I would really love to set something up working with some young people.
The
Running
youths?
The youths, yep. Just kids that need something. Maybe kids that have a few mental health issues or something, because I think, as we know from the first podcast, that's what I'm really interested in. And I'd really love to see how getting them on the wheel, what happens, and do it in a space where I'm supported. And that's what I think is great about uni, is you can kind of play getting these things happening and seeing, what would happen if I put a bunch of teenagers in front of 6 wheels with sloppy clay and really keen.
Chaos.
Totally. but controlled.
Controlled chaos.
Healing chaos.
Supported chaos. Yeah.
But so that's an idea. I guess finishing uni, I've got a few markets. I'm thinking about maybe doing a couple more outside of Toowoomba.
Oh, me too.
I know.
We're branching out.
We are. So, we'll see what happens with that. I'm still juggling all my casual jobs. We're all both part of an exhibition.
Yeah, group show coming up.
Very soon.
And you have done an amazing amount of work for that. You've spearheaded everything and gotten everyone together and sent us all the info and done all the stuff and the liaising with the gallery, and you're amazing. I hope you know that.
Well, thanks, Rora. It's been a journey.
Yeah.
I think I've over-communicated a bit, but anyway, we don't need to go into that. But it's been interesting. It started out with 11 and now 10, just coordinating all the bits and pieces. You kind of think, a gallery show, that'll be simple. We just give them some work and it all happens. But it's actually a lot. But amazing learning.
There's a lot that goes on even in just the application process.
Yeah. It's like herding cats, as they say too.
Yeah. I think what we did, I'm not going to say that we struggled with it, because I think a lot of people were just on board. But I guess coming up with the premise of the exhibition, because we're all so different in what we do.
Yeah.
That was a little bit like, where do we find the common ground?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the common ground for everyone is the material.
Yeah. I think that's actually a really interesting premise for a group exhibition. So I'm really excited to see how it goes, because we've got people that make functional work, people that make multimedia work, conceptual. Like lots of elements working together, or big pots and tiny pots. And yeah, can't wait.
Some pieces that tell a story, and some that are just emotional, and some that, just are all about experimentation and play.
Yeah. It's really nice. A friend said the other day, it's so good you've got a community around your ceramics. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. Like, I feel like it's just emerged, especially meeting you in the studio in the last couple of years, and being around. I think it's that post-COVID thing where the studio was pretty quiet at uni. COVID destroyed things a bit, that on-campus culture, but I can feel it slowly creeping back, and I really appreciate those conversations and just connections. Yeah.
That's what uni is so amazing for.
Yeah.
And, also just clay in general. I was telling you before, just the amount of people that have entered my life through clay, and just the amazing substance those people have, and staying power, I think. And we're all kind of in this journey of discovery together and discovering things about ourselves and the medium and just constantly learning. And yeah, I love all the buddies that I've met and I'm exploring this with.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's like, because we know higher education's changing all the time, like funding's being cut. The studios at our uni are wonderful. I don't know if they'll be there forever.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen in other states and other countries.
Oh, that's scary to think about.
It is, but I think we need to value it while it's there and to look at other other options. And this is something I'm keen to do some research on, is looking at community studio models.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a fantastic podcast called Clay Commons, and it's based in the UK. And they, the woman who hosts that is really looking at, because England's probably a few years ahead of us.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, a lot of their studios in higher education are gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we're really lucky.
Oh, we're super lucky to be, I guess, where we are and on this timeline, because our uni is the only tertiary study of ceramics in Queensland.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually think there's not that many around. Like, I know there's a National Arts School.
Yeah.
And a few like that. But a lot of unis have really pushed into the conceptual space.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like, I love conceptual work, but I like the balance of also learning the skills. And I think that's a big thing that you and I share.
Yeah.
And what we're really passionate talking about here is that skills and story working together.
Yeah.
And not pushing them apart.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And there's so many different ways you can delve into ceramics. You know, you can go more of a science-based approach and experiment with glaze and clay and all that chemistry, that confusing stuff.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can kind of experiment with your work via alternative firings. There's also technique in making, like that kind of apprentice potter kind of production style, or conceptual and hand building. Oh, there's just so much.
Yeah, and I think sorry, chop.
Yeah, you're right.
Once you've got a whole set of skills, when you want to tell a story, you've got this like toolbox to draw on.
Totally.
So you're not just kind of, and I think clay in itself has a conceptual premise. It's country, it's earth, it's connection, and I think that story is always going to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it has, and it still does, and we've been working with clay since the before times.
It's true. So, I guess on that, what are some of the things you want to learn this year?
Oh, man. Well, I want to learn, I guess, how to price my work.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Especially doing multiples, because I'm used to making one-offs because of a short attention span. But, like this year, like, how do I price sets? Because I imagine it's so different to, you know, pricing a one-off piece, because...
Yeah, I guess it could be.
There's the perk to, you know, producing multiples. You gain speed, right? So it takes less time. You're not focusing on one piece so much. You've got a design carried out, right?
Yeah.
So I think just taking the price down, but learning where the sweet spot is for that, where I'm still, you know, the work is still valuable, but accessible to get more than one piece. So I don't know. I'm going to figure that out somehow. Probably a lot of convos with you and customers.
And the research. I know we've talked about researching further afield, like looking at other potters on Instagram and their websites.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I think, a really good place to gather that info. When I was looking at the beginning of pricing stuff, I looked at Etsy.
Yeah, okay, that's
but
a
I
good
think
one.
Etsy's, I don't know, it's in the Wild West these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know, it's changed a lot. And I think probably pricing's a topic we will go into more, but yeah.
I think that's exciting as well. Just another exciting thing to learn about and, I don't know, get experiencing, because I don't have a lot of experience in multiples, so that'll be fun.
You're doing a reduction workshop.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
am. Wow, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah.
That's on the 18th of Feb, so that's not that far away. That's a month
soon.
away. Oh God, I have to make work for that. In stoneware clay. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to have some hi-fi and stuff.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
run by Bill Powell, who you and I both did the Throwing Big workshop with, who's
Yeah.
an amazing teacher.
Oh, just he's so generous in, I guess, the amount that he shares.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be good.
Patient too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it at his studio?
It is.
Oh, I've got some of his bats. I'll have to give him back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah,
I can do
excellent.
that. So yeah, I'll learn reduction firing too. And probably learn how to podcast.
Yeah. As we go.
What do you want to learn?
I would love to learn how to win a residency. Which is probably not really learning, but
No,
I'd love
that's
to.
good.
Yeah. I really love the idea of residencies.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like I'm still in uni though. Like I feel once I've got over my undergrad, I've got that done. I'm keen for honours. But I feel like as part of honours, I'd love to do a couple of little residencies just in Australia and then build up to some bigger ones. I've been really excited, like the podcast I just said, the Clay Commons podcast has really inspired me. It's very similar to what I'm passionate about, writing in a potential PhD. And I'd love to travel around and see some of these spaces. Like there's a space in the UK, youth centres put in clay studios in all their youth centres. Awesome. Like just some things like that would be really great to explore. I think I've spoken about that before.
Totally.
But yeah, learning, I don't know. Learning's an interesting one, isn't it?
How many residencies are you looking at around?
Well,
All of them?
all of them, yeah. Just ones that come my way, but I think I've got to really sit down and, write each one down and see, because some of them you need, like, they're not for where I'm at in my career. They're for, like, in 5 years.
Yeah.
There's one in Shigaraki in Japan that takes quite well-known potters that have very established practices.
Oh, okay.
And look, I'm still learning about who I am as a potter.
Totally, yeah.
And I think you and I both on this journey, like, are we artists that want to exhibit work? Are we, functional makers? Are we something in the middle? Are we doing both?
Yeah.
How
do
we
you
teachers?
do both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a long journey to find your voice. And I think that's a big part of this podcast is talking to others and saying, hey, how did you find that voice? Yeah.
I think along the way doing these recordings we'll have a lot of moments of self-discovery and it could be a nice underlying narrative.
Our therapy. Yeah. Excellent. So yeah, just learning what comes my way, really. Yeah, I haven't got any big, I'm going to go and learn this skill. I want to build on some skills. I want to make some teapots.
Yep.
This year, teapots that pour well.
Oh.
That's a big challenge.
How do you do that?
Oh, that's a whole episode in itself.
You can tell me.
I've heard about, like, not waxing the tiny, like, making a sharp edge on the lip of the teapot and, like, waxing it so there's no glaze. So, yeah, but anyway.
Oh.
Let's talk about that a lot more.
Okay. No, that's really interesting.
Yeah, and about having a good neck and the spout that allows the air to kind of, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot in it. A lot of opinions. If you've got an opinion, let us know. About what makes a good teapot.
Yeah, also, side note, we would love questions. Please send in questions.
Yes. I think questions are great. It's like...
Comments. Queries.
Questions, comments, topics you'd like us to delve into, people you'd like us to interview. We've got a long list of people we're super keen to interview and excited to delve into that. But reach out.
We've got some interviews coming up.
We do.
And a goal that we currently have, that maybe by the time you hear this, we'll have kicked the goal, is to have episodes with interviews out before April this year because we'll be going to Gulgong.
Yes, it's true. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I actually have no idea what to expect.
Me neither.
No. Like, Laura and I have both been to Australian ceramic triennials.
Yeah,
or
each different
triennales,
ones.
depending on
Yes.
your pronunciation.
So you went to Alice.
I did, to Mabantwa.
Was that last year?
Year before.
Year before.
Was it? Yeah, year before, I think.
Does that mean the next one is next year?
Yeah, it is. In Western Australia.
Cool.
I know. Road trip.
Yeah. And I went to Hobart in, was it 2018? No, 2019. 2019 I went to Hobart. And they were both great, weren't they?
Yeah, really interesting. But it sounds like Gulgong's kind of...
a bit more loose.
Yeah, a bit more hands-on maybe, a bit more potters, less academic.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, from photos I've seen, it seems like you get the opportunity to interact a bit more with the demonstrating artists.
Yeah.
Which seems really cool.
I know.
Yeah.
And on a side note, Keith Brymer Jones...
We'll be there.
He'll be there, and I've just started watching the new season of the Pottery Throwdown, which is really exciting.
Is it good?
It is good.
Oh.
You've got a few episodes. You haven't watched them yet?
No, Mum has, and something she said was, wow, they have really upped the ante.
They have, yeah.
So I'm keen to...
Their standard is high.
Standard is high.
Standard is high.
All right.
Yeah. Cool, though.
Are there more, maybe full-time practicing people doing
I don't know. I feel like we're just slowly learning their stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
So unclear.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'll be watching that tonight, I guess.
Yeah, great.
Should we do a deep dive into each episode? Maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's keep it local. Keep it local,
no. But yeah, it'd be nice. We're hoping to just, maybe do a couple episodes from Gulgong, and I never know how to say Gulgong.
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway.
I think I say Gulgong.
Yeah.
But I don't generally trust my pronunciation of things.
I think hopefully listeners, you know what we mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll see you there.
Oh,
we'll be handing out flyers.
We will.
Yeah, we'll be the dorks with the flyers.
Yeah,
so.
totally.
And if you've heard us by then, wow, let's be friends.
Yeah, totally. Haven't turned off.
Yeah.
Cool. Back to the regular schedule
Yeah.
from our side notes.
Hey, Jane.
Yeah.
What's a goal you have for this year?
Finish uni.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it is. Make a good teapot.
Make a good teapot.
Okay, let's do 3. Finish uni. Make a good teapot. Do 12 at least amazing podcast episodes.
12 in a year. That's a low bar. We'll have
achievable.
Yeah, that's achievable.
Rora.
That's a smart goal.
Yeah, it is.
Cool. That's good.
It is specific, measurable, achievable. The time limit. I did
What's
good.
R?
I don't
What's
know.
R?
I forget the R. Anyway.
Okay, tell me about your teapot goal though.
Okay. When I was in Japan, in Mashiko, there was an amazing pottery supply store, and they had little beautiful metal tea kind of nets, like tea strainers that fit in teapots.
Oh, lovely.
You know that you put the tea in, it still brews really well because they're quite deep.
Yeah.
And so I bought a couple of them, and so the goal is to make teapots, and I've always wanted to use those little, because I think they make them really practical, those little strainers.
Yeah.
So I want to make 3 because I've got 3. They're all different sizes, and see how they go.
Oh, cool.
I've got a good friend who loves ceramics, and she's always like, Jay, make me a teapot. And I'm like, I don't think I can.
Why does everyone always want a teapot?
They always do. Always.
They do that. They're
They're good
high.
though, but they're... I remember when I did an intermediate course, it's item that tests all your skills.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like I can delve in a bit deeper, and I've kind of just been making cylinders.
Yeah.
And bowls.
Yeah.
And, adding handles for mugs and stuff like that. But I feel like I haven't really Like, when I was really learning and not selling, I was interested in making jars and lids and, you know, and I feel like I've kind of lost that a bit. I need to get back and kind of up my skill a bit.
I feel like you've really got to have those fundamentals before, like, doing lidded stuff. When people make lidded things, I'm just so super impressed, especially when the lid fits well, because it's something that I struggle with.
Yeah, it's not easy, hey?
Yeah.
And a lot of people have those, like, lid master tools. Have you seen them?
No, that's a thing.
They're like basically calipers. So calipers are basically 2 points with a screw in the middle that you set that are at a certain measurement. Does that make sense?
No.
Do you not even have calipers?
I have calipers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So these are like calipers, but they've got the screws like in the middle.
Uh-huh.
And so one end, the pointy bits go in. You guys can't see my hands, but I am explaining this with
claw fingers.
Yeah. Kind of claw in, and the other ones kind of go out.
Oh,
so
right,
they're the same measurement though.
Yeah.
So you can use one for the inside and then the outside of the pot.
Whoa.
That's really badly explained. If you'd like more information, just Google Lid Master ceramics.
I'll be Googling it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I made a bunch of lidded vessels yesterday.
Oh, did you? Cute.
I was thinking they could be honey pots, because I've got some drizzle sticks.
Yeah, Sam gave you all those great
He
leftover
did.
from the 70s items.
Shout out to Sam the man. But then I realised after I made the lids that I probably didn't design them well to cut the hole out. So I'm going to have to maybe not use the drizzle sticks for these.
Yeah.
But yeah, lids, man.
They're a bit, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a series of jars last year, 7 of them, and 2 survived. Just through like bisque firing and then lids glazing and, you know, cracking during drying. Yeah, 2 out of 7. I was so devastated because that's 14 separate pieces, with the lid.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot.
Yeah, teapots, hey?
Yeah, teapots. That's a goal. I feel
made
like it's
5.
a goal.
5 altogether.
Teapots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First one, great. Loved it. That was a good journey. That was one I collaborated with my mum, who does a lot of universe, galaxy painting and underglaze. So I made this giant teapot. A family member wanted to fit 6 cups. So a set of 6 cups and a big teapot. She wanted it as big as, she could get it. So I did a handle on the top and a handle on the side so that when you pour it,
Yeah. Like the good CWA ones that are metal, the Country Women's Association, which like the whole small country town can have a cup of tea out of it.
Yeah, basically. So that was good. And then I had a commission for a teapot for the council. They wanted to send to Japan.
That. Yeah, beautiful.
So I ended up making 4 for that because obviously you want the most perfect version you can do. But yeah, 2 of them, the first 2 I made, the spouts were too narrow, so they poured terribly. The tea like dripped out.
It's an art, isn't it? Yeah.
Man, yeah, just the simplest thing that you don't think is gonna affect. Yeah, I don't know. But the next 2 I made were great. I sold one and the other one went away to Japan.
Yeah, great.
So, note to future self, wide spout.
Okay, good to know.
Good to know.
Yeah. But yeah, they're my goals.
They're good goals.
Yep.
Me? Goals? No. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, what are your 3 goals?
I think one of them is something that I think we're going to discuss a bit later, is to kind of stay present and find joy in everything I'm doing.
Yeah, great.
Rather than, because, a lot of last year I spent just being stressed and feeling like time short and rushing through everything. And I've realized lately that, it's all pressure you put on yourself and it's all made up. It's not reality. The only thing we have is time. So one goal is to just keep that front and center in my mind And not too much, put too much pressure on myself and just stay chill. Take the chill pill. Another one is, I guess, to make a complete homewares range.
Yeah, awesome.
And a little part of that goal is plates.
Oh, plates.
I've only made, I think, 3 plates.
Oh yeah, I'm the same. Hey,
Which is nuts.
yeah, that surprises me, Rora. You're such a crazy production thrower.
But if I want to avoid something,
Oh yeah,
I will avoid it to the end of the earth. Yeah.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to make a plate. Well, sorry, I'm sure someone out there does. I shouldn't be so essentialist.
Yeah, and if you do like making plates, send us your tips.
Yeah, totally.
I think in 5.5 years I've made 3 plates. So, and the last one, was a bit of a disaster. So.
Oh, they often are. That's the problem.
I think that's why I've avoided them.
Yeah.
So homewares, and then another goal is I guess podcast related because I'm super excited, and I think my interpretation of my tarot cards is the podcast is coming up a lot because it's
That's
new
great.
and exciting.
Oh, yay!
And fun. And
it is.
Yeah. I'm keen. I'm just really keen to talk to a lot of makers as well.
Yeah. It's really nice. It feels like a really nourishing time to sit down and reflect.
Yeah.
And
Do you feel like you're kind of going into this year at a slower pace?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, in some ways, no, because I started out with that hectic job at the summer art school at uni.
Yeah.
But that was great. Like that, the income from that is going to get me through like the next 2 months.
Nice.
So I am slower now.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, and that was just the casual work wildness.
Yeah.
But I feel I'm not jumping into anything. Like what you said, I feel like I'm a bit more present. I'm like doing things a little bit more thought out, not just like, I got to do all the things. Yeah.
That'll be, so you're wanting to maintain that throughout the year?
Yeah, I hope so. Just find that balance a bit.
Yeah. Balance is what it's all about.
Yeah, because uni's going to be busy and
Totally.
I'm not sure what all my jobs are going to pan out like. Because, some are stepping up, some are stepping down. Yeah. Going to be doing some more teaching.
How exciting.
Yeah, it should be good. Running workshops. I ran a workshop last week up at the Bunny Mountains with the College of First Nations from uni. And just some students there. It was really awesome. We just did hand building. And it was really good. And so, a couple more workshops in the pipeline.
What are some things that were made at the workshop?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So,
tell me about the first piece that comes to
mind.
mind.
Well, the first thing we did is the classic pinch pot.
Love
which,
it.
Interestingly, I think only one person in the group had ever made a pinch pot before.
Wow.
So it was a real challenge for me to verbalise and demonstrate the best way of making that, because really I just take it for granted.
It's become second nature.
Yeah. So it was really nice to kind of point that through, and we did put handles on some to make coffee mugs. And
cool.
Then I had pre-rolled some slabs and we made little dishes. And then we made little sculptures, like little dogs and stuff. And I feel like that's kind of become my workshop structure. So 3 items and then some decorating at the end. And I'm really passionate about, especially with these guys, because they were on a bit of an orientation week for uni. It was kind of like looking at your story and what you want to kind of explore in a piece. Which was nice,
Nice. So lots of little doggies.
Kind of. We've got quolls, we've got cats, we've got Labradors. There was some cool stuff made.
That's
really
amazing.
fun.
Yeah.
And
you learn a lot about someone just asking them to make a piece out of clay. And the first thing that comes to mind, there's always a story attached, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a really nice way to connect with someone new.
Good icebreaker as well.
Yeah. No, I think it was a really good part of the project. I got great feedback. Yeah, it did make me go, I am a teacher. I have many, many years experience teaching, and I think I might be a bit burnt out at the moment, but I do find working with people does bring me joy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, do you think that's what you're going to kind of focus on moving forward?
Do you know what? I'm not making any calls.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit with it and
leave it open.
Leave it open and see what emerges. I think after you've kind of had a bit of a change and a bit of a burnout, I usually get some energy back and jump right into something full.
Yeah.
And I usually then just create the cycle of burnout again.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I'm just in exploration.
Yeah.
See what uni is, see what this teaching stuff emerges, see what I want to do in my own making in that kind of gallery space and the functional where I sell at the markets and just see how it all emerges.
I can see you being a really great teacher. I've never seen you teach, but it's just something that, you know, knowing you, I feel like you'd be great in the classroom. You'd be the kind of techer I would listen to.
Aw, you're too nice.
But because I'd be too scared of misstepping.
Yep, got my boundaries.
I've taught a little bit, and it's something I thought that I would probably focus on a bit more, you know, in my own studio is, okay, so my first goal when I had nothing was buy a wheel.
Yeah.
Bought a wheel. Next goal, buy another wheel. Because in my mind, I thought if I can start teaching other people, then I can, you know, make some income doing teaching and also share my passion. Yeah. Which was great. And I've done, you know, quite a few lessons now. But I'm finding that the amount of energy, that the output of energy to prepare, teach, and then, you know, the work stays with you and you trim it, you glaze it and fire it and all that. I think I kind of expected that to feel a bit more joyous than what it currently does. I think right now teaching's great and fun, but it's all the work around it that I don't know I'm prepared to continue doing. Well, for at least the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not everyone has to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when we look at diversifying our practice, teaching is a no-brainer. It's like regular income, you know, something that there's always demand for.
Yeah.
And we think, oh, we've got to teach, but it's not everyone's jam, you know, like it's not for everyone. And I think it's good to really look internal and go, actually, that doesn't bring me joy. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What does bring me joy?
Yeah, it's a good question.
What's the most joyous part creating, or like the most joyous part of the creative process for you?
For me, I'm someone, I really like diversity. So I like a bit of everything. And I've really realised this about myself. I think in creating, I do love throwing. I don't like trimming. Yeah. But it depends what mood I'm in. Like, I just love putting on a podcast or some music or the radio, wedging your balls up, sitting next to the wheel and just doing a good session of throwing. That's probably the thing that brings me joy. Yeah. I do quite enjoy, but I do find it exhausting selling my work. Like, I quite enjoy when I've got the energy, the discussions that happen, and just that kind of connecting with people. Do you remember, I think you came and sat on my stall at Christmas and there was a guy from New Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just such a good chat.
It was.
It was just like talking about clay and glazes and I was like, yeah, this is great. I love this. Yeah, it's kind of where my extroversion comes out a bit. But yeah, so I love that.
Community,
yeah.
Community brings a lot of joy.
Yeah, and I do like teaching. I think there's part of me that's going to really enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
What about you? What brings you joy?
I think I find the most joy in challenges, like setting personal challenges, and then, you know, taking all the steps and all the practice to reach the goal. And then reaching the goal is like, oh, I'm on top of the mountain, triumph, winner, and then I make a new goal.
Yeah, great. And you made a really beautiful work about that in your honours, didn't you? That gorgeous pot.
Yeah.
I feel like was,
That was kind of, so a lot of that body of work was a bit like emotional, edgy, some darker kind of emotions. But then that pot was all about, I guess, the discipline of wheel throwing and, pushing materials and pushing yourself and allowing things to fail to then overcome them.
Yeah, beautiful. Amazing work. Check it out. Rora Elwell. Instagram.
We'll have our Instagrams in the show notes.
Yeah, we will. No, I think it's a really strong body of work, and I loved that piece because I think knowing you and knowing, I think some of your challenges reflect my own, and we can get really self-deprecating and negative and never say, oh, we're good, and we never really celebrate our successes, and I think that was really beautiful about that. It was really strong work, and I can hear that in this Joy is saying that struggle, that challenge, but coming out going, yeah, I did it, I'm strong enough. And
totally, that's so funny that we recognize those traits in each other, and we're always jumping on each other for being like, hey, don't say that. And then we'll just immediately go and be self-deprecating.
Yeah, but it's a journey, that stuff.
Oh,
and
it totally is.
It's why you surround yourself with good people.
Yeah.
That help you.
Yeah, I wonder where I can find some.
Yay.
I'm kidding. Joy.
Yeah.
Joy.
I feel like you have mentioned in the past that you find a lot of joy in production throwing.
Oh, yeah, I do actually. Well, I think I do currently because it's kind of a new challenge. I've only done a little bit of it in the past, and now kind of I've done it, I guess, to specific stipulations. So I've made multiples of things for other people.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm trying to figure out design-wise how to make multiples in certain designs for myself, and also what to make as a part of a range. So there's a lot of things to figure out and discovery, and I'm really enjoying that right now. As kind of, I don't know, I'm trying not to stress out about it and freak out because I'm kind of, it's hard being your own boss and thinking like, oh, okay, what do I need to focus on today?
Yeah.
What's the week look like? How do I stay on top of my tasks? What goals do I have? When are the goals? Yeah, I don't know.
The SMART goals again.
SMART goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, just figuring that out. And but also I think it's really important as makers to bring joy to the center of our practice.
Yeah.
And also for our mental health as well. Because if our work starts to feel tedious or like it's stressing us out, it's not kind of why we got into it in the first place.
Yeah.
What are some things that can stress you out about making?
Yeah. I'm really bad. I'm a bit last minute.
Yeah, okay.
I'm always emptying the kiln the morning of the market. Why? Why do I do that? So time management. I mean, I'm okay, but I procrastinate a bit. I find those things kind of hard. Time management. But I think that's every ceramicist. I don't think, I mean, some of them obviously aren't, but I feel like we all do struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
Because ceramics is a very time heavy, sensitive craft. It's not
and so is studying though.
Yeah, I know.
I kind of feel like when you're doing both of those things, sometimes it's gonna pile up and you will be a lot of the time last year I was doing the same thing, unloading the morning of the market.
Yeah.
Because you just don't have all the time that you want.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good reframing, and something that I think sometimes I try to do too much. I think that's probably the reframing. But the things like, the little things that I find hard is posting on social media.
Yeah, okay.
I'm really shocking at that. I go through a blitz and I do like 4 posts in like 2 days, and then it'll be another month.
Yeah.
Which I know breaks all the social media, like building your business goals. But I don't know if I care. Do I care? I don't even know.
Something a friend was telling me that she read about, very vague, I know, was kind of, as a female, posting on social media kind of aligns with your hormones and where your hormones are at.
Interesting.
So, which is why we can, all of a sudden feel like, okay, yep, I'm going to post this, and then kind of retreat. And it kind of, what she was telling me was she's noticed it really aligns with where she's at in her hormonal cycle.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, she'll post a lot when she's ovulating and then kind of go quiet during her cycle.
Yeah, interesting.
And, stuff like that.
I think, like, all different bodies have all different cycles like that too. Like, I know you can get, like, living with a person who is male, identifying, they have their own kind of ups and downs too, and I think it's true though. I think like the moon cycle and all these things affect us, and that's really interesting.
I know. I thought that was very interesting too. And I've tried to notice when I'm posting, when I'm not posting.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit all over the place, so I haven't noticed any kind of parallels for myself personally.
Yeah.
Yet. But yeah, I know what you mean with social media. Like,
I just don't really want to do it, and then like I'm on it a bit. Like I'll post, and then I'll get all the comments and feedback. Because I'm so popular. No, I'll get a few comments and feedback, and so then I'm like, oh, I'll post again. Like the endorphins get.
Yeah.
And then I fade. Like it kind of fades down, and then it's interesting, but it's something I'm not really sure where social media sits in my practice yet.
Yeah.
I'm currently reading Florian Gadsby's book.
Cool.
Which is really interesting. We need to talk about this a lot, Rora, but I'm not sure if everyone needs to hear about it. But like, social media has always been a giant part. Like it's almost 50% of his practice.
Yeah.
And you can see that.
Oh, he definitely commits a lot of time.
Yeah.
To it.
But even like when he was doing his apprenticeship back in the day. So Florian Gadsby's a famous Instagrammer.
Production potter in the UK.
From the UK, He did this amazing 2-year residency in Ireland, which was just all about throwing, and then went and did a apprenticeship with Lisa Hammond, who was one of the kind of, I think she learned under some Japanese potters. It's kind of the Bernard Leach school a bit, like that kind of studio pottery that was big in the UK. So, but so through his apprenticeship that he did with Lisa Hammond, he started videoing and posting. Great. Even way back then. And I'm like, wow, I didn't realise.
It's a long journey.
And it's a long practice that he's learned. Yeah. So, social media. I mean, I guess we're talking about joy, aren't we? And the things that don't bring us joy and how to kind of reframe that.
So social media would be one for you.
Yeah, it would. And reclaiming.
Oh, God.
Isn't that everyone's worst?
Ugh, I have so much clay at home just waiting for me to reclaim it right now. And you know what? I probably should do it this afternoon. and you know what I won't do?
Reclaim it this afternoon.
It was on my list of things to do yesterday, and I had 3 things on my list. Only 3.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. I
know. So why, like, how can we reframe reclaiming clay? I've got an idea.
Okay.
Good tunes.
Good tunes.
Like, have a reclaim playlist of, like, all that. It's a bit like, people who have their those people who run, like, running playlists or gym playlist. I was like, maybe we need to create a reclaim playlist. We should make one. Yeah, we should.
Do you have Spotify?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to do it.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll share it.
Yeah, and hopefully, so we'll put in all our, like, pump-up tunes in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will try and avoid RuPaul songs.
Okay.
Because I don't think you want to listen to RuPaul.
I love RuPaul.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't avoid RuPaul.
I love RuPaul.
Okay,
maybe
good.
not all RuPaul, but 1 or 2.
Yeah, it's like, love RuPaul and everything he does, but I feel like there's only a certain kind of person that will actually go and listen to the songs.
I love it.
And personally, I feel real pumped up.
That's great. I love that.
Okay.
RuPaul will get us through Reclaim.
Yeah.
I feel like we need that on a shirt.
Uh-huh.
RuPaul will get us through Reclaim.
It's probably, we could make this playlist public as well.
Yeah.
If anyone that needs to reclaim their clay is listening. But also, it won't all be RuPaul songs, so don't worry.
No. And I think, other things, for me, space is a really big issue.
Yeah.
Actually, to me, that is my biggest barrier.
Okay.
At the moment is my space. I've got no space.
Yeah.
Everything is like, I'm in that kind of, so my pottery wheel is in the laundry, which is under the house, which floods every time it rains, which is so small that I like knock things off with my elbows regularly. The kiln and glazed materials in a corner of the shed with the hoarding of the masses. So, like, it's just so many things that my partner's hoarded.
Yeah.
And woodworking tools. And it's like teetering layers of boxes. And then the other sheds where I glaze, which I'm not even going to say that because it's too bad workplace health and safety, but I may sleep in an area near there. I clean it really well sometimes. And I just have chaos. So I think organising a space would allow me to find reclaiming easier.
Can we put that on your list of goals?
Yes. Let's actually put that as number one goal.
Yeah, okay. If that is your biggest, hurdle.
Yeah, let's, teapots, whatever. Having a good studio space.
And you know what? I'll come over it if you need someone
to
be the hard hand and outside voice with your
partner.
partner.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't need this.
You don't need 13.
You know what Jane needs? Space.
13 broken DVD players. Just in case they could create something cool. Yeah.
Oh,
I bet you don't want to stifle the artists either.
No, but
yeah,
there's a line of compromise.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. Yeah.
I know what you kind of mean though. So my studio was that space.
Yeah.
Before it was my studio. And I wish I probably have some photos somewhere. My old phone went into the ocean, so I did lose a lot around that time. When the studio was kind of transforming. But I'll have a look. Our shed was, and I still actually call it the shed a lot.
Yeah.
Was just storage and hoard space because, my mum, we live on rural property. She kind of keeps everything that comes her way. She's also a sculptor and likes to use crazy weird materials to make big sculptures in the garden. So, nothing's kind of off limits to what she can keep.
Yeah. And I think we both come, neither of us come from money.
Yeah.
And I think there's a culture of that could be handy one day.
Totally.
Yeah.
Creative solutions to things.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've got just the thing for that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We have some parallels for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Let's move
Yeah.
that to your goal list.
Yeah, and I think that would have a bit of a knock-on effect of helping me with some of those tasks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm totally down.
Okay, what are things that you find hard?
Well, reclaim is obvious.
Yeah.
I actually think I find it really hard to relax and to take time away from the studio.
Yeah.
So, a friend actually asked me not that long ago, what do you do when you're not making or doing stuff in the studio? And, I was hard-pressed to think of anything, which made me a little bit sad. I thought, wow, am I a bit too obsessed or too, I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know, it is your passion.
Yeah.
I think it's not like you are someone who's I'll tell you about clay to everyone you meet. Maybe a little bit.
I felt that way when I met you. Oh my god, let's talk about clay. Okay.
Yeah, totally. But I think you do have a rich life. And I mean, you're just coming out of uni.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hobbies are overrated.
Well, actually, I thought I've got a stack of books to read. So maybe, coming into this year, I thought I need to take time away from the studio, maybe in order to appreciate it more as well.
Yeah.
And also just to kind of treat my body well, take breaks, because, wow, I really dragged myself through last year.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've got a brace on my thumb right now because, you know, as a result of pushing through a bit of pain and kind of, you know, all that, not listening to my body last year. So probably that is a hard thing for me to kind of stop that, I'm going to say Capricorn workaholic mindset. Shout out to all my caps. What's another thing? Another thing that doesn't bring me joy is probably, I don't know. Clay's pretty good. Pretty joyous. Cleaning.
Yeah.
Man, so much cleaning. Which is probably why Reclaim is so annoying too, because it's such a huge cleanup.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 Organising. I can get really messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're just those standard things you got to kind of keep on top of.
Yeah.
I'm like, good playlist will solve all these problems.
Yeah, totally.
Except that one about work-life balance.
Yeah.
I hate that term because, like, work is life. Like, what, do you work and then you have a life? Like...
Yeah, they're not separate.
Yeah, I'm like, life is life.
Yeah.
But balance in life. And I know we spoke about, like, potentially more time with friends, bushwalking.
Yes.
Doing healthy things, going swimming.
Yeah.
There's stuff I want to do too, because I think you're right. I think sometimes, and I know this in teaching, like when I first started teaching, there's some teachers that just, teaching was all they did.
Yeah.
But then I had a principal that was really pushed us to have a day off a week, so only work 4-day week, and on that day off do something we were passionate about.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was a dream school. But on that day off, we would fill up our cups and we'd actually come back to teaching and to the students with this like kind of richer internal landscape, I guess is a way of saying it. And so, yeah, doing those things like going on a bushwalk. I know for me, just going on a bushwalk and looking at the beautiful leaves, you know, the gum leaves that had dropped really inspired a glaze palette that I wanted to explore. Cool. And so it can feed that and bring the joy back.
Now that you say that, I totally see that in your palette.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Because I've always just, you know, your palette, walking up to your stall and just seeing all of your things out in the colours, it just works so well. They're all so complementary.
Thank you.
And everyone always says it.
Yeah, they do.
And
yeah, people do like my colours, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's another goal, making my own glazes. But anyway, we'll get there.
There's so many goals.
So many goals.
So many goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in saying that, you know, I definitely do have things to work on outside of the studio as well. Like Yeah. Treating my body well.
Yeah.
Going outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
walking, good. moving my body, other than hunching over a wheel.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Well, I reckon I really like that idea of what brings us joy and what we can reframe to be more joyful. If anyone wants to like weigh in on this, I think this would be a great one. Shoot us an email or message us on Instagram. What brings you joy, and do you have any tips for how to overcome overcome the things that you find hard?
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Let's keep talking about this. I like it.
Yes. Tell us what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Other than the obvious, which is Clay, so it also makes us sad.
Yeah. Well, I think, Rora, that's a good chat.
Yeah. That's great. You're great.
You are.
You are.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. We hope you enjoyed. You can find us on Instagram at birdsofclay_podcast. Please feel free to send us any questions or comments. And if you could leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on, that would be amazing. We'll see you next time.